How are we in August? How is it nearly the end of summer? And how are we nearly in autumn? I can't keep up. I literally cannot keep up. It is time for a monthly wrap up, and once again we are doing 2 months in one video because I just felt like I hadn't read enough to do one video for June. July I could have, but June I couldn't have. So here we are doing 2 months in one video again. I feel like June was not the best reading month, but then July was actually such a good reading month and I didn't realize that it was such a good reading month. So I'm gonna stop actually yapping about the months and just tell you what I read, because that is literally what you're here for. Starting off with June, I read Baby and the Night Howlers by Catherine Moon. I received this from NetGalley and I rated this one 3.35 stars. I just was a little bit disappointed by it. I went in expecting just a fun time, and that's what it was. But you know when it just kind of under-delivers just a little bit? Like, it wasn't a bad book, I still enjoyed it, but I just wanted more from it, unfortunately. This is a Omegaverse Why Choose biker romance, and all of that in one book was like, oh my gosh, yes. I picked it up and I was like, oh, I'm disappointed. Still a good book, would definitely recommend it to people that love Why Choose and Omegaverse. I just didn't get what I wanted out of it, unfortunately, and that's okay. This is at the point of me being really deep in my reading slump. I was picking absolutely nothing up, and I saw that Rebecca Genshak had one of those like Amazon stories. You know the novellas that Amazon do on Kindle that you can get for free on Prime? Those ones. I picked up a Rebecca Genshak one, which was Summer Thaw, and I really did enjoy it when I read it. As soon as I put the book down, couldn't tell you a thing. I could not tell you a thing about that book, and that is why I decided to rate it 3 stars. And I hate saying that because I love Rebecca Genshak, genuinely love Rebecca Genshak, but this just wasn't for me, and that's okay. It wasn't that it wasn't for me, I just cannot remember a thing. So I'm not gonna rate it high. Like, as soon as I went to go on Goodreads and review the book, it was gone. So I don't know. But if you want a quick fun time, then I suggest reading this because it does have a lot of higher reviews. So maybe it was just a me thing, maybe it was the slump really kicking in, I don't know, but give it a chance if you want to. I then read Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage. Guys, I loved this book. One thing about me is I love when there's renovation in a book and the 2 main characters are doing a renovation together. I don't know why I love that microtrope, but I do. I love it so much. So going into this, I was like, yes, I haven't read that in so long. Add the cowboy aspect, add the small town, add the found family. I was like in love with this book. I rated it 4.5 stars. I had such a good time. And yeah, I loved it so much. I do know a lot of people have read this series already, but if you haven't, I do highly recommend because it's just such a good time. Okay, so here is where things get a little bit confusing, because in my June wrap up on TikTok, I put a book in, but then I also put it in on my July wrap up, not realizing I had put it in my June wrap up, and now I'm confused because I don't know when I read it. My Fable says I finished it the last day of June, yet my Goodreads said I finished it the first day of July. So I don't know. So you guys can take that for whatever you want, because on my TikTok, apparently I've read it twice. I don't know, but I read The Troublemaker by Piper Rain. This is the last book in the Dugout series. I love this book so much. I love this series so much. And I say it every time I talk about them, but if you're going to read this series, please listen to the audiobooks because the audiobooks are so good. I really do love this series. It is a baseball found family series. I love it. I rated this one 4.5 stars. I think this was my second favourite in the series. The first one is my favourite and then this one is my second favourite. I love Easton. This is Easton's book. It's not a spoiler, you know he's going to be the last character to get a book, and I just loved it. Oh, I loved it so much. And yeah, I don't want to say anything else because if you want to read the series it will spoil his story. So yeah, loved it. Okay, and now it is officially time for July's reads. So I started off the month with Romantic Hero by Kirsty Greenwood. I was so lucky enough to receive this from Evermore for a free review, and I rated this one 3.75 stars. I really loved the premise of this book, and that is an author from London is kind of going through a lot at the moment. She's currently going through a breakup, and she's also going through writer's block, which is not great, especially when her deadline is around the corner, like literally around the corner. And then all of a sudden, one day, a man is in her living room. Turns out it is a character from her own book. Yeah. All I could think while reading this book was, I want this to happen to me. Why can't a fictional character pop out of a book for me and fall in love with me? It would make my life 10 times easier, but I guess I can't get it that easy. I did really love this. I just felt like sometimes I wasn't really in the story, and there was other times I felt like things are a bit too like cheesy. Not cheesy, but like, not, I don't want to say cringy, but like just kind of in between. I don't know. I don't know how to explain my thoughts on it. Like, I really did enjoy this and I would recommend it because it was actually so fun, but at the same time there was times where I felt like it dragged a little bit. I wasn't in the story and the dialogue was a bit like cheesy, but at the same time I really did have a good time with it, and I know so many people have absolutely loved this book, so definitely give it a chance. I did really enjoy it. I will recommend it. So yeah, and also I just absolutely love the cover. I think it's gorgeous. So yeah, July was definitely the month for physical reads because I then went into Lost and Lassoed by Lila Sage. You guys, this one is my favorite out of the series. It was nearly 5 stars. I loved it. Teddy and Gus are top tier. I don't care, I don't want to hear it. I love them. Okay, I rate this one 4.75 stars. What a fun time. I loved the hate to love, the tension, the angst, and then also I loved Teddy getting to know Riley even more and them two building a bond as well as Teddy and Gus building a bond. I don't know what that is. I love it. Single dad. Guys, this book was made for me. This book was made for me. I absolutely loved it. I would definitely be rereading this book, even if I don't reread the rest of the series, which I probably will. This one will be definitely getting a reread at some point in the future because I just loved it so much. Yes, loved it. The only reason I did not rate it 5 stars was because I just didn't get the 5-star feeling, but had such a good time. I really did. If you stopped after the first 2 books because you just wasn't sure if it was for you, give this one a go. Please just give this one a go. And surprise I also read Wild and Wrangled. I had such a good time with this one. I love Cam and Dusty's story. I do love a second chance romance. I know that's a very unpopular opinion, but I really do love them, especially when they're done right, and I just loved it. I loved the found family. I loved them kind of having that push and pull. Should we? I'm a little bit scared to do this again because I genuinely love you. Like, I loved it. Again, I also loved like Dusty and Riley's relationship, how she started to trust him and how Cam saw her baby with the love of her life and like fell even harder. Like, I loved it. And then also just these 2 books together, the family that these 4 built, don't even. I loved it so much. I forgot to say that I rated this one 4.5 stars. I once again felt the book slump starting to hit, okay, because I had finished a series that I had absolutely been loving, which is obviously the Rebel Blue Ranch series, okay. I had finished it. I was like, what am I gonna do? I don't know what to do. The slump was really starting to take a hold and I said no. I went on to TikTok. I said, guys, help me out, I don't know what to do. I'm falling back into my slump. I really don't want to. And a lot of people said switch genres. Now, I'm not one to switch genres because I just don't like other genres. Like, I tried like 3 or 4 thrillers and I kept putting them down. I was like, okay, so maybe switching genres is just not the thing to do. But then I remembered there is a book that I wanted to read anyway, and that was a memoir or biography. I've seen it described as both, so I don't know, but that is The House of My Mother by Shari Frankie. I honestly don't know how to review this book because it was such a good book, but also such a hard book to read, and that is because of the topics that it handles. The things that Shari and her siblings had to go through were awful, like genuinely awful. It just saddens me, but I loved hearing Shari's side of the story because this case was very, very public and everyone had something to say, so I just loved hearing her side of the story and also learning more about her. And I was just very unsure on what to rate this. I did rate it 4 stars. I feel like that is a good rating for this. It's just weird saying I enjoyed this book because I did, but I didn't enjoy the topics of the book. I will say, if you're gonna read this, listen to the audiobook because Shari herself narrates it and I really did enjoy the audiobook. I thought she did a good job narrating it, so yeah, definitely recommend the audiobook if you're going to read it. I will say that the advice worked because I went into my next read and my next read was a 5-star, you guys. Oh my gosh, it was a 5-star, and that was The Risk Taker by Stephanie Alves. Oh my gosh. So I did do something I don't usually do, and that is skip books in a series to get to the book I want. Okay, I did. I went into the 3rd book of a 4-book series and read it, but I don't have any regrets because I got a 5-star out of it and I had a great time. Okay, I had such a good time. So this is an ice hockey romance, not friends to lovers, more like teammates to lovers, and it was just such a good time, like genuinely such a good time. The tension, the angst, oh, it was so good, along with the fact that I read it in nearly 24 hours. Yeah, okay. I started it at like 1 o'clock in the morning, which you should never do, by the way, but I did. And I went to bed at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, I got halfway through the book, okay? I woke up the next day, did my morning routine, and then finished the book. I finished the book and it was such a good time. I loved it so much. This is more of a vibes 5-star read, as you can probably tell. I just haven't felt that way about a book in so long. And it was just nice to feel that like obsessed feeling again. So yes, definitely a 5-star read. I loved it and I would definitely recommend this book. I'm 100% going to be going back to read the first 2 books and the last book that literally just come out. So yes, very excited for those books. And that is everything I read in June and July. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, I would really appreciate if you used to like and subscribe. Maybe leave a comment, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.